Hi, my name is Don Shelton. I grew up in the Sandy area. I had the great privilege of growing up with a mom and a dad, both in the home, and good, solid parents who had a lot of faith and a lot of great values, worked hard, and taught me good principles during my life. I was highly blessed as a child and a youth. Recently, my mom passed away, and I had the privilege of speaking at her funeral. I shared a few stories and the things that I had learned, and so that's why we're here today. So one of the experiences that I had with my mom while I was growing up occurred when I was a teenager. I had the audacity to ask my father if I could borrow his truck and his boat and drive them to Lake Powell with two of my buddies to go water skiing for a few days before my parents came on a planned vacation. And the astonishing thing is that he agreed to let me go. Now, I'm particularly astonished with that, having had teenagers of my own at this point, because I am not certain I would have said yes to the same request from my sons. But nevertheless, he agreed to let me go. And the day came when we were ready to go, and two of my buddies and I had piled into the front seat of the pickup truck, and we had the boat attached. The engine was on. We were ready to leave. We're ready to head off to Bullfrog Basin at Lake Powell. And we're just as I'm about to put the truck into gear to drive out, my mom comes running out the door and knocks on the window. I roll down the window and she said, have you prayed? And we looked at each other. I was like, no, we haven't prayed. She said, well, turn off the truck and come on in the house. And we're like, oh, okay. And so we went in the house, and she said a very heartfelt prayer for our safety during this trip. And so we took off after the prayer. We piled back in the truck, took off, headed for Bullfrog Basin, and we were somewhere south of I-70. I'm not sure we were south of Hanksville. I can't remember for certain, but we were along that road, south of I-70, north of Bullfrog Basin, and the truck started to act up. It started to stall out. So it would kind of stall until we were clear down to about 25 miles an hour. Now we were driving fast. I mean, we weren't speeding, we weren't being crazy, but we were driving fast. We were anxious to get to Lake Powell and to have some fun with the boat and do some water skiing. And here we are out in the middle of the desert, and the truck is stalling out on us. And it was a truck that had multiple fuel tanks, and so I thought, well, maybe one of the fuel tanks is running low, and so I switched to a different fuel tank, and we'd go for a while, and it'd let us get up to about 50 miles an hour, and then it would start to stall out and stall till we were just creeping along. And we're out in the middle of the desert. This was a worry. We were concerned about the situation. Anyway, it had stalled out really slow, and we were just barely creeping along as we were coming up over a hill, and the hill went up and turned down, and just past the crest of the hill, as we crested the hill, there was an accident that covered almost the entire road. So there was a boat off from its trailer out sitting on the desert floor, and pickup truck and boat trailers scattered across the road. And we pulled up. As we pulled up there, and rolled down our windows, and people came, and we asked if they were okay, if they needed help, and everybody seemed to be okay. And of course we were concerned about our truck that was no longer working, or wasn't functioning as well as we needed it to function to get us across the desert. And so we headed on our way, and we started to go, and the truck gained speed, got up to 50 miles an hour, got up to 60 miles an hour. That truck never stalled again, ever, on that trip. In fact, I don't believe that truck ever stalled like that again, ever in the history of the truck. That truck functioned perfectly after that. And we were flying along down the road, and the three of us were sitting in the front seat of the truck and just silent. We're all silent, thinking, wow, this is really weird, given what we had been experiencing up to that point. And one of my buddies turned and looked over at me, and he said, I think your mom's prayer was just answered. And I'm certain that it was just answered, because if we had been traveling at the highway speeds that were allowed in that area, and we were probably driving a little over the highway speeds, but if we had been traveling at those highway speeds, we would have plowed right into those vehicles. And the Lord knew that and literally saved our lives. And so the lesson I took away from that was to pray always, and to know that Heavenly Father knows what's going on in your life and is interested and wants to answer your prayers. So that was a great, great blessing, and another testimony builder with the experience with my mom.